Hello and welcome everyone to online webinar on navigating your career after law school with Dr. Parul Gurudev and Leeza Singh from Adroit Links, a Delhi-based law firm providing transformative legal solutions. I'll just hand over the session to our speakers, Leeza and Parul.
Thank you, Srishti, for this wonderful opportunity and bringing up this idea of having a session on navigating career after law school. Because as legal professionals, we have also been facing this challenge of trying to figure out while we were doing our law college. That what profession, what should be our area of practice, whether we should join active litigation, or we should join as an in-house counsel in a corporate, or should we explore other opportunities. I have passed law some, I could say, yes, 20 years back, and I think so did same. So is Tarun. So back then we had very limited opportunities. So either it was in-house counsel, that too in public sector units, mostly as a law officer or going for judiciary. The other option was to join as a junior attorney in a law firm, or assist an advocate practicing in the court. However, come to 2024, in this era, in this time, the opportunities are ample, and we have seen through our career, all these years in our career, that the avenues are many. So today, in this session, we will be focusing more on in-house counsel vis-a-vis the other career options, and we will also try to include give an idea what does an in-house counsel do, and what are their roles, responsibilities, how to navigate. We will not be taking up career as a litigating lawyer on this session. So anybody who would be interested in having more information about different careers, the different career options, may actually leave a comment in the comment section, and we will definitely try to have another session on the same. Let's start. Uh, okay. So this particular session is on legal avenues beyond litigation. That means, other than litigation, what are the options available, and especially exploring corporate and in-house legal careers. And I hope the law students and recent graduates find this session useful, and they take home some understanding and what to expect if they join a in-house legal team.
So, usually what we think is that a role of a lawyer is, or when we talk about a lawyer or an advocate, we feel that as a tradition, it is a black and white coat, a person wearing black and white coat, and he's going to the courts and presenting his case. But with the development of economy and with the development of different sectors, the field of law has also expanded. So it is not only the litigating lawyers who have this, who do the law and do the litigation, but there are so different careers, that options that are available with the students. Now, as Leeza said, that with today we are going to focus only on the corporate sector, in-house legal counsel and the corporate sector. So let's begin with that.
Sure. So as a disclaimer, this is to let all the law students know that this is an information that we have tried to bring it. This does not constitute any kind of legal opinion, and this is intended as a definitive statement on the subject, but a tool. So providing practical information for the participants. All right. An introduction to what is an in-house legal counsel. So we keep hearing the term in-house legal counsel, in-house lawyer. So what exactly is an in-house legal counsel? To begin with, I would just like to make a small statement which was made by the CEO of Reebok once, and he made a statement to his general counsel where he said, "I hate lawyers, not you, Jack. You don't count." All right. That's a very that statement itself gives a broad idea of how in-house legal counsels are perceived as. So this anecdote typifies the widely held notion that corporate counsel is a breed apart from other lawyers. All right. So when we talk about corporate counsel, in-house counsel, it is a general notion. They are not like lawyers. They are a breed which is apart from the lawyers. So why is it so? What exactly is an in-house lawyer? Are they attorneys or are they merely corporate employees? What is their function within the corporate structure and whom do they owe a duty of loyalty? Should they be loyal to their employer, the organization, or do they have their own individual clients like any law firm litigating lawyer would have? What is the correct title? What kind of titles are given in a corporate legal setup? And what is their role within a corporate entity? So we will try to touch down on these topics in the next slide. So what is an in-house lawyer? Simply stated, an in-house lawyer is an employee, like any other employee in an organization, like a financial analyst, like an HR personnel, like a CEO, like a CFO. An attorney, an in-house counsel is also a lawyer and who works as an attorney for the corporation. And the in-house lawyer, like any other employee, serves primarily to advance the needs of the business. So they do not function in their individual capacity as a lawyer. They are an employee of the organization. And when we talk about in-house counsel, there are two typical law department. One is senior counsel and one is staff attorneys. So if we want to divide or give designation to the kind of if we want to divide it into group, a legal department, so there will be senior counsels and there will be staff attorneys. So if we want to compare it with a law firm structure, it is more or less similar. Like there are senior partners and there are junior attorneys. All right. However, in a law firm environment, there could be several senior partners. However, in a corporate structure, the hierarchy will be a little different, which we will be taking up. So in any organization, in multinational companies, big companies where there is a legal team, there will always be a general counsel. And the general counsel also serves as the chief legal officer of the company. Now, what is the primary role of a general counsel? The primary role and a very important role that the general counsel plays is advising the board of directors on the corporation's officers in legal proceedings, any kind of legal matters, compliance, proceedings, governance, contracts, what decision boards need to take in terms of complying with the legislation that is taken care by the general counsel. And the general counsel also often is seen to be reporting to the chief executive officer of any company, that is the CEO. And the general counsel is also considered to be an essential component of the management team. So in any multinational company, in any big corporate, you will find that within the executive team or within the leadership team, there will definitely be a general counsel. Now, if we look into the hierarchy within the legal department, so this is how the hierarchy will look like. So at the top would be the general counsel. Below the general counsel will be senior counsel, and below the senior counsel will be the staff attorneys. So if you want to look into their job profile, what would be the job profile? As I mentioned, the general counsel is the head. He is the chief legal officer of the organization. Senior attorneys, they are usually aligned to the general counsel and report to the general counsel, whereby they help the general counsel with outside counsels for litigations, for any other kind of compliances that needs to be met up. Senior counsels also have the responsibility to supervise and to help the junior level staff attorneys with their work. And the senior counsels also advises the company in any one particular field of law, which could be where they could be the subject matter experts. Because if for example we take a legal division of a corporate. So if we talk about India, there would be team members one team member who could be looking into the client contracts, one team member who could be looking into the vendor contracts, commercial contracts, one team member who could be looking into the board meetings, secretarial matters, one team member who could be looking into the employment, HR, taxation matters. So this could be the four senior counsel within a legal team who reports into the general counsel and who are subject matter experts in those particular area of law. All right. Now, they also grow the junior attorneys who report into the senior counsel. Sometimes, what we also see is in certain organizations, the you could say the hierarchy is such as the staff attorneys also directly report to general counsel, the senior counsels also report to general counsel, and all the councils are actually known as corporate councils. They do not differentiate between, staff attorneys and senior counsels. They say all are corporate counsel. Of course, there will be a senior corporate counsel, junior corporate counsel, but not necessarily one reporting to the other and the other reporting to the general counsel. There could also be a hierarchy where all of the team members directly reporting to the general counsel, depending on what kind of role and responsibility they play within the legal division and what kind of expertise they have within the organization. And the other hierarchy is, as I mentioned, general counsel, below the general counsel, senior counsel, below the senior counsel is the staff attorneys or the junior attorneys, you could say. Now, what is the role of the junior attorneys? The junior attorneys will assist the senior counsel and, in a way, the chief legal officer or the general counsel also. How they are going to assist? They can assist with research oriented tasks. They could provide support to the senior staff by helping them with keeping a track of the contracts, helping them with the client contract management system, yes, helping them with the drafting of the contracts, helping the senior counsels with the number of cases that may be going on in the court, because many a times the legal division of the organization also has to defend the company. Although they will not be directly representing the company as an attorney or as a lawyer in the court of law, that will be done by some firm which will be outsourced to an outside law firm. However, it will be the responsibility of the senior counsel and staff attorneys along with the GC to interact with the outside law firm. So what they will do is the outside law firms, lawyers will represent the company in the court of law. However, all the liaising between the company, all the information that is needed by the advocate who is representing the company in the court of law will be done by the senior counsel and the staff attorney. So they will be doing the research, they will be providing the data, they will be briefing the attorney who is representing the company in the court of law. Uh, and there could be also scenarios where there are compliances. For example, if I give you my example, I have worked with EXL, which is a multinational corporation, for almost 10 years. So my role, apart from what I was, apart from being a expert in drafting, one area was also making sure of the compliances with respect to the licenses that we had in United States. So that was another core role that I had, where I had to coordinate with law firms based out of US. Why I had to coordinate? Because most of our compliance filings, because there would be filings for every organization, wherever you need to do a business, you need to comply and file for registrations, renew licenses, maintain them, answer questions if there is any by the regulators. I was not directly interacting with the regulators because of the time difference. However, we had a law firm with whom I used to regularly interact and provide them with the necessary information so that they can take it up with the concerned authority in US. So that's just an example to make you understand what kind of roles are expected, what is expected out of you if you join an in-house legal uh, department. A few law departments have removed this hierarchy by eliminating these titles, as I said. Thus, with the exception of general counsel, attorneys are referred as corporate counsel. Moving into the next. So, what is needed to be a general counsel? All right. An in-house counsel is more than just a legal advisor to a corporation or entity. So, one very important I would say very important for an in-house counsel to know is understand the company's business, because as a lawyer, as a counsel, if you do not understand the business of the company, you will not be able to advise the board or
Represent the company,
yes,
or defend your company.
yeah,
So that is there.
that is why it is very important that you understand the company's business. If we talk about litigation, that is the you would say the worst scenario. The role of an in-house counsel is to make sure that the company is complying with all the necessary compliances. They have every contract in order, all the clauses in the contract are well drafted, and there is and minimize and mitigate the risk of being sued or to sue another company, or the vendors, or take it to the court of law. So that is where the role of the in-house counsel is very important, where they have to protect protect the company, so that they do not get sued or they do not sue. Again, for to be an in-house legal counsel, you need to have a strong understanding of the relevant areas of law applicable to the industry. For example, if you are working for a big healthcare industry, you should know about the laws which implicate that industry. You should know about HIPAA regulations. You should know about utilization review regulations. You should know about insurance. You should know about all the related applicable laws to that industry. Similarly, if you are working for any energy company,
Yes, energy
yeah,
companies. Yes.
so you should know about energy laws.
Energy laws. Then how you are going to frame the contract that you are going to contract with the other companies, how you are going to take the material from other company, and all these things are very important for in-house counsel to understand the relevant laws that are applicable in your country where you are working or where your company is based. You should know the law of land.
Absolutely. So if we talk about any public sector, for example, that is also you could say is a it has a corporate
Culture.
structure. Yeah. So if we talk about any public sector unit in India, they will need lawyers who have understanding of the land laws. Why? Because they need to acquire land to set up their industry. All right. They should know that the in-house counsel should know about employment law, should know about HR related laws. Why employment and labor? Because you need to hire people.
And when you are purchasing any land, know the land rates of that particular area, wherever your industry is in, your office is in India, that is in Noida or Delhi, and you have to purchase a land in Rajasthan, somewhere in Rajasthan. So the in-house counsel will should have the knowledge of the rates that are available in Rajasthan, so or wherever the state is. So that is also important for a legal counsel to understand the scenarios that are available in that state or
Jurisdiction, absolutely. So apart from knowing the you could say the central legislation, you should also be aware about the state laws, specific state laws. Similarly, again, you should keep yourself updated on any legal developments. I'll give you a very good example. So when GDPR was introduced, all right, in the European Union in the year 2016, when it came up, companies like EXL, they had to, do a complete revamp and understanding, especially the legal department had been assigned the responsibility to look into the processes where GDPR could be implicated. Because when a law comes up and it becomes effective, initially people are not aware how it is going to affect, how which all processes it's going to affect, what are the compliance requirement, because that is something which you have to research, you have to understand, and then you have to educate your internal clients, meaning your processes, your board members, your HR, other team on complying with that. So keeping yourself updated on legal developments is very, very important. Proficiency in analyzing legal issues, identifying risk, and providing practical solutions, that comes very handy when you are doing legal drafting. Excellent written and verbal communications. Of course, as an in-house legal counsel, you will be communicating with clients. So a written and verbal communication is very, very important. Ability to work collaboratively with various departments. So as a legal team, you will be working with financial team, you will be working with human resource team, you will be working with the audit team, you will be working with the compliance team. So you should have the acumen to work as a team. It has to be a collaborative effort. And as a legal counsel, they will highly depend upon you and your opinion. So you need to be on top of your game, because at the end of the day they will ask for legal approval for anything and everything that that flows out of the organization.
Whichever thing you are doing for your company, the very first thing will be to consult a legal team, because everything that is flowing out of the company, any tender is flowing out of, it should be approved by the legal team first. So that is where the legal team should have everything in place, and they should have the knowledge about the tender also, whichever they are floating.
Exactly. So you need to be on top of the things, because at the end of the day, it is your responsibility to ensure and protect the interest of the company. That you also need a proactive approach. You cannot actually wait for somebody to come and tell you what needs to be done. If you see a red alert, if you see any risk, if you see there is a new legislation which could affect your company, you should definitely be proactive. Flag it to your board members, flag it to the leadership team, and make sure that they understand why this is important and why we should comply, because non-compliance is something which can actually drill a deep hole into the pocket of the organization. So non-compliance is something which you cannot afford at any cost. You should have high ethical standards, and you should know all the necessary applicable laws to the industry and comply with them. You should also have strong negotiation skills, because when you are dealing with the client, you will definitely need to draft an agreement, or if you're reviewing their agreement and you see that something is not in favor of your organization, you should be able to negotiate the terms which favors you, or you should be at least able to balance out the terms. It should not, the agreement should not be one sided. So you should be careful about the language in the agreement, where you negotiate well for your organization. Understanding international regulations, of course, because if you are working in a multinational, you should also have understanding of the legislation which affect other geographies where your organization is situated. Effectively managing time and resources, which is universal for every department. So who is your client? Will your client be your CEO? Will your client be the leadership team? Will you be personally responsible for, will your client be any internal client? No, no. If you are working in an organization, unlike in law firm, you do not have an individual client. Your one and only client is your company. So you will work for the company. You will work keeping in mind the benefit of the organization and
The
protect
interest of
their
the
interest. Yes. So you do not represent the board of directors. You do not represent the principal officers or the individuals, even though those individuals act on behalf of the corporation. You do not represent them. And that is the reason why an in-house counsel cannot represent the organization or its board members or its officers in a court of law, because that in-house counsel is also a lawyer. Is also an employee. So this means that an in-house lawyer are affirmatively obligated towards the need of the corporation over that of an individual officer. So he is supposed to protect only the interest of the organization. If there is a conflict between the principal officer and the interest of the corporation, the in-house counsel will ensure the interest of the corporation, looking beyond the interest of the principal officer, even if he reports to that principal officer. because a general counsel reports to a CEO. If there is a conflict between the CEO and the corporation, the general counsel will have to keep in mind the best interest of the organization. Advantages of working as an in-house counsel: there is less stressful working, because it's more or less a job where you work for a fixed number of hours, and that not being the major reason. The major reason is you do not have billable hours, so you do not have to actually be the rainmaker and get your clients. You don't have to worry about that. Your only client is the organization. You don't have to focus on bringing clients, marketing, networking, to get clients. No, that stress is not there. Your job is to protect the interest of the company and work accordingly. So you can actually focus and understand the dynamics of the company. That is one big advantage of working as an in-house counsel. Why become an in-house counsel? Close to the business management and decision. So you will be working closely with the leadership. Increasingly complex and more sophisticated practice than private practice, because here you will get an understanding of more complex things than what an individual or litigating lawyer would know, or anybody working in a law firm would know. Broader practice, generally speaking, this can vary. Hours can be better regulated because you have a work-life balance, greater direct exposure for advice and decision, less stress and pressure due to lack of billable hours. Now, what are the disadvantages? In terms of compensation, a law firm partner may earn more than a senior counsel in a corporation. Perception of the quality of practice and of the practitioner can vary widely. Since you are kind of jack of all trades, you may not become master of any. All right, because you have to look into so many areas of law. Resources are usually not as great as in the large firms in terms of good quality researchers, junior staffs who can assist you. That may lack in-house legal setup. Isolation, few colleagues to consult on ideas. So the group of people where you can you discuss your ideas is limited, and career tied to the fortune of the company. So you will grow as the company grows. So that is also dependent on the performance of the company. What are the duties of an in-house counsel is to understand the business and to understand the areas of law that is applicable. Few of them could be antitrust law, international trade, corporate law, corporate securities, tax, real estate, government contracts, ethics, privacy, intellectual property, of course, standard contracts, employment law issues. Do corporation hire recent law graduates? The answer is sadly no, because most of the corporates would want somebody who has minimum at least 4 years of experience to be hired within corporate to be hired as an in-house legal counsel. How to navigate? So you can seek internship with this corporate legal departments, where you join as an intern, and then
during your law school,
and then you can build a rapport. You can prove them that you are good at what you are doing, and then the company might actually hire you. The best opportunities for law students are in either small startup organization or corporation that have a history of direct hiring. For example, Hewitt Packard have a summer internship program in US, where they actually hire interns for a 1 year practice within the organization. And in most more recent years, with the economy moving forward, legal departments are looking to recruit lawyers from law firms which have previously worked with their organization. Spectrum of the legal career, which could you could look into apart from the litigation, are corporate counsel, as we mentioned, legal process outsourcing, research and academics, legal publishing and journalism, social advocacy, judiciary, government services, Indian Armed Forces. How to get into corporate as an in-house counsel after your law school. So one is to get to do internship. While you're doing law, it is a good idea to approach corporate legal departments, write to them, visit them if possible, if it is in your city, and show your interest in doing an internship within the legal department. So what happens is, if you are allowed an internship, you get to build network, and within that period you can also showcase your
abilities.
Yes, your abilities and your interest and your knowledge. And if you're good, the corporate actually would be interested in hiring you, because they already know that you are a deserving candidate, and they may actually offer you an in-house counsel role just after passing your law school, which otherwise is a little difficult, because usually corporates would at least ask for minimum
3 to 4
4 to
years
yeah
experience.
4 to 7 experience with any law firm or any other place. Okay, the best opportunity for law students are either in small startup organizations, because nowadays with the with lots of startups coming up, it is a good idea to start with the startups also, because there you will get to learn a lot. I mean, I'm telling you from my own experience. After I left EXL, I actually was working with a small startup, and I cannot tell you how much I have learned during that period with the startup. Because when you are working, if I have to give you an example, when you are working in as an in-house counsel in a corporate, let's say there is an elephant, you get to maybe work only on one part of, and the task is to paint the elephant, let's say, for example. So you just get to paint a part of it. You don't even know whether you're painting the ear, or the trunk, or the tail, or the legs of the elephant, because that is what your role would be, in and out, and since
And
you
your
will
role
be
would be specified. That you have to do only
this area. Because again, in a big corporate, there are people with different skill sets, knowledge, understanding. They become SMEs. They become very good at what they do, but they may not know so many other things. However, when you work with a startup, starting from drafting the employment contract, to drafting their client contract, to drafting their vendor contract, to negotiating, to ensuring compliances with the with the different regulations, understanding taxation, understanding what could be the applicable compliance policies. You get an exposure of so many things. And also, you if it comes to defending the organization in a court of law, then again, liaising with the outside legal counsel, so you get to learn a lot in a startup organization. So as a fresh law graduate, if you get an opportunity to work with a startup, even if at the beginning the remuneration may not be great, yeah, very less is also the right word, but you should not leave that opportunity, because within a
learnings
span,
are more.
yes, learnings are more. Within a span of 5 years, you will learn so much that you can actually negotiate very well whenever you go to a bigger organization or you go to any other place, because you know so many things, because you have been doing everything on your own. So it's a good again, good opportunity to start in a small startup. And as I said, that there are certain organizations like HP, Hewitt Packard, where they recruit law students from top law schools to become a part of the legal department, and they recruit fresh law graduates. They have a legal new attorney program in an on-campus recruiting program at top law schools, which is prevalent throughout the United States. So in US, the top law school graduates get the opportunity to directly enter HP without any other previous work experience. So they have this
As an
internship.
intern, you can.
Yeah, intern, and then they recruit. They engage. They engage. You join as an intern, but then over a period of time, they groom you, and then they engage you into full-time employment. Uh, Again, if you're working previously with any law firm, so sometimes when you are working in a law firm and you deal very closely with with a corporate, or an in-house counsel in a corporate, and you're good at it, even in those situations, the corporate may offer you a job as an in-house counsel, because they understand that you are growing up the curve, and you're doing well in the law firm. You understand the area of law, and you have an acumen to work in a as a team in a collaborative spirit. And if you are not looking for a long-term career in a law firm, we will also discuss maybe in another webinar on career in a law firm. What are the challenges? What are the advantages, disadvantages? So maybe if you do not see yourself as a attorney working with a law firm, this is another way. You enter a law firm or you start practicing as as a litigating lawyer and then move into a corporate. Like if I have to give my example, I started as a litigating lawyer for 2 years and then I moved into the corporate as an in-house legal counsel. So that is one way of doing it. So this is a small spectrum of the career that is available, which is non-litigation. So one is corporate counsel, which we have discussed in detail. So we have taken up corporate counsel or in-house legal counsel because when you talk about non-litigation, if be it a government organization, be it a public sector unit, be it a company, be it an any establishment, which has a corporate structure and culture, you will find the same kind of hierarchy in the legal department: general counsel or chief legal officer or general manager legal, followed by the mid-level counsels and then the junior attorneys. So the other opportunities you have is legal process outsourcing. So what is legal process outsourcing? Many of the companies, firms which are based outside India, mostly in UK or US, what they do is there are certain kind of work which is voluminous. There is a huge volume of work, and the cost of hiring attorneys or engaging attorneys there in US or UK is quite high. They have to pay very high billable hours if they engage lawyers to do that work. So what they do is they outsource that work to some place like Philippines or India. And here, in India, the law graduates, they can join an LPO and then they can gain experience in working in an LPO. The kind of work is a little monotonous. I would not deny that, but it's a good start. It's a good start because you get a good compensation to start with in an LPO. You definitely gain knowledge. I would not suggest unless and until you want to you want to grow within the LPO. You might like the environment because it is again a regular job, right? You if that is what you are looking forward to, you can look to grow within the ladder within the LPO. But otherwise, that is a good start again, where you gain experience on, and you will also understand and know a lot of international laws when you're working in an LPO, specifically, the court structures in US or UK, or the how litigations takes place there, or about mediation, arbitration, and you also need to get to learn a lot of different the how the law, how the judgments are to be interpreted. So there are many things. In fact you could also be engaged in a legal process unit where they are dealing with IP, intellectual property,
Arbitration and mediation.
mediation. Yeah, initial 1-2 years, I don't think it's a bad choice to join an LPO and gain experience, as well as you have a good compensation package. The next is research and academia. So after completing your LLB, you can go for masters, you can go for PhD, you can go for research, you can go into academia where you become a professor or assistant professor teaching. If that is something you enjoy doing, definitely this is something you should consider.
And as a litigating lawyer also, or wherever you are working, one should be very good at the research work, because for supporting your matter, you should know how to research for the case laws or the judgment that are given by the court. So one should be very good at the research work. So it is not only for the academics or for presenting any research paper. The research work should be good with a student. When you are during your law school also, you should regularly do the research work on the different topics so that you are pro with that research work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that is where also legal publishing, when you talk
Yes.
about legal publishing
Yes.
and journalism. When you talk about journalism, this is legal journalism, okay, where the different case laws, or where different judgments that are given by the different courts, be it Supreme Court or High Court or the District Court, you are doing a journalism for those case laws, okay. Because in the newspapers or for any legal magazine or any other magazine, they have a separate column for the judgments that are given by the courts. So that is called the legal journalism. Okay, so and legal publishing, that you can, there are different there are different magazines also, legal magazines also, where you have to publish your article. You can publish your article.
Absolutely. So if you look, if we talk about legal publishing and journalism, you can also see that there are so much online, platforms, publications. SEC online, of course, is there. Then there is Live Law. There is Legal Octopus, Manupatra. So many, legal publishing online as well as in print form. And you can definitely join any of this and build your career.
Yesterday, one of my students, she had published on art law.
Mhm.
So, and it is international journal where they required a few students to publish an article from India, and that was based on the art law. Okay, so that is also very, I got to know this thing for the first time.
Yeah. So, if you explore, the avenues are many. When a judge is pronouncing a judgment in the court of law, for example, when Ayodhya verdict came up, the seven judge bench of the Supreme Court, no, five judge bench,
Five.
right? Five judge bench of the Supreme Court, when they came up with the verdict, then, I am sure to understand, to interpret, to in fact report about it, you need to have a very good understanding of the different areas of law that was touched in the verdict. So for that, again, you need to be first of all, you need to be a law graduate to understand that. And then if you're interested into media, if you're interested into journalism, you can definitely add on to that. And that is something, again, you can build your career upon.
Media also. That is when you are reporting the in the news channel. When you are doing it could be a legal reporting also. When you are doing any reporting for the judgments that are pronounced by the court, you should also understand the intricacies that are in that law. So there, it is very important for you to understand, to have the knowledge of the law.
Yeah, absolutely. Then there is social advocacy where you take up social causes. Judiciary, of course, many students aspire to clear judiciary. So that is another option after passing your LLB. And if you wish, you do your LLM also, because I think for judiciary, a minimum qualification is LLB. You don't need to be an LLM to appear for judiciary. So some students might actually take up judiciary, and they start preparing. It is a competitive exam. You have to prepare for it. You have to pass the exam. And once you clear the exam, you can definitely be appointed as a judge.
If you want to go for the judiciary, one should start preparation from fourth year itself, so that after completing your graduation, you start giving your exams, and the state level judiciary exams are also there. And like for Delhi, there will be a Delhi judiciary. For MP, there will be MP judiciary. So every state will have their own state exams. But there are some states like Punjab, and when you talk about Kerala or the other states, where they demand for their local language also, specialization in their local language. So it is always suggested to give the exams or judiciary exams for those states where they do not require any special language as their paper. Okay, like for Punjab, they require Punjabi. For Rajasthan, they require Rajasthan language. For this Kerala or any other state, they require Kannada or Kerala or some other languages. So there you cannot appear. All the students can't appear for there. Only the students who are from that state, they can appear.
Yeah. So in fact, if you look into the hindsight, if somebody is from Karnataka and
We
have,
can, yeah.
if appearing for a judiciary in a particular state judiciary is an advantage, because the person also knows the language. So
And he can appear for the other states also.
absolutely. So it is like so that is how you can actually decide which state you want to target, which state judiciary you want to appear. So you can plan it accordingly. Now the next is government services and Indian Armed Forces. So government services would mean
PSUs.
PSUs.
But for PSUs also, you have to clear CLAT. Okay, through CLAT only, they take the like for NTPC also, or for any other PSUs, they require you to appear for the CLAT only. Through CLAT only, they will take you in the PSUs.
For NTPC, maybe, I mean, what I'm talking about here is if you're applying for a mid-level or a senior level position,
Okay.
then you need to have a particular work experience.
Yes.
All right. So maybe you worked for 7 years or 10 years in a law firm, or maybe in a cooperative, even in-house corporate, and then you qualify because this PSUs they come up with vacancies. Then you can apply. Then as Parul rightly said,
So
if you
joining
want
as
to
a fresh
fresh law graduate, if you want to join a bank as a legal officer, if you want to join a PSU as a legal officer, again there will be examination. Of course, you have to prepare for it, but that is another opportunity that you have, career option that you have, which you can again look into. Similarly, in the Indian Armed Forces.
JAG exam is there. For
Yeah.
Indian Armed Forces, there you have to give Judges Advocate General. JAG exam is there. It is considered to be a tough exam because there you have to clear different areas. Like they have their medical also there, they have physical also, and there they will have English paper also other than the law paper. So it is considered to be difficult than the state judiciary exam. But yes, you have a career option in Indian Armed Forces also.
Yeah. And also you can join as a legal advisor in the armed forces, like in PSUs. So these are the other career options available. Then you can be a human rights activist. You can work for public welfare. You can also be a legal advisor in politics, social work, as we mentioned, policy development. See, avenues are many. What you have to understand is what is your acumen, what comes naturally to you. Like, if you ask me personally, I never aspired to be a litigating lawyer. All right. So that is why I actually explored something that I enjoy doing. So first identify what is that area of law that you enjoy doing, or what is your natural acumen, and then you align your choice of choice of whether you want to go to want to establish yourself as a litigating lawyer, or you want to pursue an in-house corporate legal role. Yeah, so that is something which you definitely should give a thought and then move ahead. So with that, we would come to the end of this webinar, and we can have question answers if there is any.
For me, if you ask personally, yes, it is very, very informative for me because few of the things which is I think I have heard for the first time. I am not aware of all the areas where law can be extended. So there are multiple branches are there. On that branches, maybe until and unless the kind of guidance you have provided at this moment is something which is helpful for everybody who actually wants to pursue their career. The one the journalism part, I am really surprised to hear that I know actually, and none I have never explored that side of the world also. So
Yeah.
these kind of informations also that people are the career maybe you can think of and you can pursue if you have your interest based on how you want to take up the things. Because
Yes,
for me, it
absolutely.
was a very straightforward, if you ask me. Either you can go to the corporate or either you can go for your normal, the legal route, being a lawyer
Yeah,
and
no,
have
there
that
are there
black
are
coat.
yeah, you're
That
right.
is what I told you. The very first thing a person, when if you are doing a graduation in law, the very first thing would be you are going to earn your bread and butter by wearing black coat, black and white shirt. So that is the perception which people have. But no,
Yes.
there are so many options that are available with the students.
Yes, yes. And there are so many areas of law which we haven't even touched in this webinar, where we have not talked about IPR, we have not talked about media, telecom, and the kind of opportunities there is available. The opportunities are multiple. This was just an introductory session where we wanted to just touch base on a structure of an in-house, and then maybe if we have another webinars, we can go into
There
more
is one
detail.
more sector which I am also interested in. That is litigation and politics. That is also because nowadays you see there are so many politicians who are law graduates and now they have come into litigation. So that is also a very new thing that is coming up with the students. They can go into the politics because you have the knowledge of law, that is their law of land, and then you are going into politics.
Absolutely. And in fact, if you see even the political, within the political group also, you will need legal advisors because more and
Yes.
more people are becoming aware of, their rights, their duties. So in order to, help, I mean, if we look into the policies of the government, in last 10-15 years, you would see there have been very progressive development because I'm sure there are good people within the political team, within each political parties. I'm sure where they have been guided by very capable advocates, lawyers, or people with legal background.
Because they need their spokesperson.
Yes.
Every political party they need their spokesperson. And nowadays it is a trend that they will hire some advocate as a spokesperson because he will be having the knowledge of the court also and of this political party also. So there he can balance the situation.
Yes, absolutely. So the avenues are multiple. It depends on what the acumen is, what the interest area is, and then explore in that particular area.
So thank you so much
Okay.
for this wonderful session for our students, and I hope our students found it insightful and interesting. So for more such sessions, do follow our social media handles, the Lokojanus page, and also follow us on our YouTube channel. And thank you, goodbye, and take care.